NBA Fantasy DFS lineup picks for January 21st. DFS picks for Tuesday's 5-game slate in the NBA on January 21st. Hey NBA fans! Welcome back to the channel, where we break down all the best fantasy picks to dominate your DFS lineups. Today we've got a 5-game slate on January 21st, and I'm here to give you the top players you'll want to target to set yourself up for success in tonight's NBA DFS action. Whether you're playing on DraftKings or FanDuel, these picks will help you build a winning lineup. Let's dive in. Let's start with some core plays for tonight. These are the players who are almost a must-have for your lineup. First up, we've got Tyler Herro of the Miami Heat. Herro has been on fire in January, averaging 24.1 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 4.6 assists over his last 11 games. He's been hitting his three-pointers at a high rate, and in his last game against the Trail Blazers, he dropped 32 points with 7 three-pointers. The Blazers are allowing 116.7 points per game, ranking 24th in defense, and that makes Herro an excellent pick tonight. His price is pretty reasonable too, at $8,300 on DraftKings and $7,900 on FanDuel. If you're looking for a solid, high-scoring guard, this is your guy. Next up, let's talk about Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers. Maxey has been an absolute beast lately. In his last game, he dropped 37 points against the Milwaukee Bucks, and he's been averaging a crazy 44.9 fantasy points per game. He's got a favorable matchup against the Denver Nuggets tonight, who rank 20th in opponent defense. Maxey is a consistent scorer, grabbing rebounds and adding assists. With his current form, you're definitely getting your money's worth. His price is $9,900 on DraftKings and $9,700 on FanDuel. He's a great pick if you want someone who can put up big numbers across the board. Now, let's look at Karl-Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Towns has been putting up some monster numbers this month, averaging 28.3 points, 16 rebounds, and 3.3 assists. He's been a reliable source of fantasy points, and although he had an off night last game, expect a bounce-back performance. He's facing a Brooklyn Nets defense that ranks 23rd in opponent defense. If you want a high-upside big man, Towns is definitely someone to target tonight at $9,700 on DraftKings and $10,000 on FanDuel. Alright, now let's move on to some cash game targets. These players offer great value and consistency. First up, we've got Deni Avdija of the Washington Wizards. Avdija has been solid lately, averaging 30.1 fantasy points per game. He's coming off back-to-back double-doubles, and with the Miami Heat ranked in the bottom third defensively against frontcourt players, he's got a great chance to continue that streak. At just $6,800 on DraftKings and $6,900 on FanDuel, he's a great value pick tonight. Next, let's take a look at Jimmy Butler of the Miami Heat. After serving his suspension, Butler has been a little up and down, but he has a fantastic matchup tonight against the Portland Trail Blazers. Butler missed the first game against Portland this season, so he'll be looking to make an impact. His price is low for his skill set at just $7,500 on both DraftKings and FanDuel, and this is a value that won't last long. Now, Austin Reeves of the Los Angeles Lakers is someone you don't want to overlook. Reeves has been solid for the Lakers, and with the Wizards struggling defensively, this is the perfect spot for him to shine. Washington ranks 30th in the league for defensive efficiency, allowing 122.8 points per game. Reeves put up 38 points in a previous game against the Brooklyn Nets, and if he can repeat that against the Wizards tonight, he'll be a steal at just $8,000 on DraftKings and $7,700 on FanDuel. Alright, now let's look at some GPP targets. These players have high upside but come with some risk. First, we've got Cole Anthony of the Orlando Magic. With Jalen Suggs out again, Cole Anthony should see a bump in usage. While he didn't have his best game last time out, he's been consistent over the past month and is averaging 15.3 points, 4.7 rebounds and 4.1 assists per game. At $6,500 on both DraftKings and FanDuel, he's a solid gamble in a favorable matchup. Now, let's talk about Mikal Bridges of the Brooklyn Nets. Bridges has been on a tear, scoring at least 23 points in 3 of his last 4 games. He's also been hitting threes at a high rate, with 15 total three-pointers in those games. At just $6,200 on DraftKings and $6,400 on FanDuel, Bridges is a great value pick who could provide some serious upside. And finally, let's mention Kelly Oubre Jr. of the Philadelphia 76ers. Oubre has been steady for the Sixers, averaging 16.9 points and 6.8 rebounds in January. He's had an increase in production, and at his price point of $6,300 on DraftKings and $6,800 on FanDuel, he's a great value with the potential to exceed expectations. Alright folks, those are your top NBA DFS picks for tonight's 5-game slate. Whether you're stacking up on studs like Maxey and Towns or looking for some value with players like Avdija and Reeves, there are plenty of ways to build a strong lineup. Good luck, and make sure to drop your favorite picks in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fantasy basketball tips. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy fantasy basketball!